Hello, and welcome to episode number 112 of the Hobbies and Happiness podcast, where we talk all about the hobby that makes us happy, card games. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm Jim, and the world as you know it is over.
I feel like we should have posed that as a question.
The world as you know it is over?
No, is the world as you know it over? That's how you
Seems
should.
like it.
It does seem like it. Especially because we've been gone for weeks.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Which, speaking of, hey everybody, how's everything going? How y'all doing? I haven't even made sure. Yeah, we're all the audio's good.
It's been a while.
Everything looks good. But yeah, we're back, better than ever. We've got a lot to fill you in on and catch up. So you know what?
Yeah.
We're gonna skip the. This episode is not sponsored by Amazon Audible.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So
because the company's been bought out by Amazon.
So to let y'all know, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag right now, and then we'll talk about it.
Dan's pregnant.
I will talk about that later. Oh, sorry. All right, we'll talk about that later. All right, the podcast is we're putting the podcast on an indefinite hiatus. So we've it's kind of a long time coming to this.
Yeah.
But the reason this is going to be like the I've said I don't know how many times already.
27.
I've said a lot, but yeah, the podcast has been fun, but we're putting
I like it.
We're putting a long pause on the podcast, okay? And that is so we can focus on making other types of content.
It's been too much of a priority for a while, and we haven't been able to do other stuff.
And that's not a bad thing either. No. Like we don't say that from the standpoint of like it's been a very big burden, because it hasn't. It's been a lot of fun, but there's other stuff that we want to do with the channel, and we've just prioritized the podcast heavily. You know,
I was even telling Dan a while ago, I'm like, I like playing games, but I'm like, I love doing the podcast. You know, it's just so nice to be able to sit and just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it honestly really is a good time. It
is. It's a good time. But because of, our schedules and, I mean, Jim essentially works graveyard. I mean, technically, is it
4 a.m.
to
noon.
All right, so it's not graveyard shift.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
But you've got some weird hours.
Yeah, it's like when I get out of work, I sleep because I want to make sure I'm awake and ready to do all this stuff. Because if I'm not full of energy, you guys are going to be able to tell. Dan's going to be able to tell. And there have been a few times where Dan's like, Jim, you need to get sleep.
Yes.
All right. You look like poop.
Yes. Yes. And he sounds like it too.
And so, and I look like it now.
Yeah.
And so,
you already said that twice.
I fall asleep after I get out of work, and then I come here. I get home around sometimes between 11 and midnight, depending on what it is, and then I have to be awake. I leave the house at 3 o'clock, 3:15. So then I'm gonna just be semi-tired at work.
Well, and
it's just breaking up my schedule.
Well,
sucks.
yeah, and I, honestly, I think that's just the reality of those types of jobs with hours like that, because you cannot be the only one. No. You can't be. I mean,
it's hard.
When I was in college, there was a couple of years where I was working overnights while I was in school. So it just throws everything off. And then with my new job, like I'm finally out of the training process, or training period, I should say.
He was traveling a lot.
I was traveling a lot. I'm traveling tomorrow, not far, because I'm just going to Indiana tomorrow. So it's like an hour.
You were in Iowa, and then you had to go to Ohio the following day or something?
Yeah. It's been a lot of traveling. Yeah. But now that I'm kind of, I guess, solo-ish, it's a lot of driving. It's a lot of long. Like I had to drive earlier this week. I think I told you I had a 14-hour day.
Yeah.
it was like 4.5 hour drive each way, and then I had my actual inspection, which took me about 4 hours. So it's just, and it was fun. Like I had a great day. I enjoy those long drives, but you know, it's just we have very, very different schedules and trying to coordinate things.
Yeah.
So, and then like that was kind of the main thing. And then when we talked about it, we were like, it's just, we put so much emphasis and priority on the podcast where, you know, we want to be doing these other things. And we have this beautiful studio, which, I mean, the entire reason it was built, it wasn't just for the podcast, but the ability to use it for the podcast has been great. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we're not done making content because we're still going to be making content, but we're kind of going to, with us not doing the podcast, it's going to free us up for a lot of other content.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of gameplay content, a lot of stuff that we were doing. Now, the main thing, all right, so with that out of the way, like that was kind of like the big announcement of this is the last podcast episode for a while. With that out of the way, okay, we kind of just want to have a chat. Now, we've talked about this, just the two of us, but we kind of want to continue the conversation, kind of just let you all in on it and kind of what our plans for the channel are and what we're going to want to be doing. Okay. Now, the one thing we stream? We did stream, right? Didn't we stream a couple of weeks ago? Played Lorcana. Didn't we do that? I think we did.
I think so. Yeah.
I think we did. And so we showed you, I believe we showed y'all what we've been working on. And so now with this entire setup in our new program, it's essentially for the most part eliminating the major need of post-production. So I've put a lot of time and effort, and I still have a lot of work to go, but this is stuff that's fun, is building in elements to where we're essentially we're doing, for lack of a better term, we're doing it live. Right, the ability to do things
Sounds
live.
like the best term we could use.
It is. We're doing it live. And in all honesty, like I've had a lot of fun building all this stuff out. I've got Stream Decks, I've got my laptop here, and then putting it all together, and then honestly to give the viewer a good experience. Now, the one thing, and I see people do this too, and one thing that I don't want to get complacent in is build all this stuff up and then say, all right, now it's going to look good. We don't have to do anything else. Yeah. That is far from the truth.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part when it comes to content creation, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah.
And it's not only like keeping the audience engaged, but it's being entertaining.
Yeah.
And we've had fun over the past couple of years, and we've learned and grown a lot in that, and we're gonna continue to do that. Jim has grown like immensely. Remember when you first started? Like how comfortable, how awkward was it for you when we first started?
Oh my goodness, I was terrible. It was really
you were
weird
terrified, weren't you?
Yeah, and like even before we were doing stuff, right? Like I was on, I have the old videos on here when I was starting with my solo stuff.
Oh yeah,
MMOs.
Yeah,
and it was like I could even tell from when I was doing it, and I'd like write a script of what I was saying. It would take me like 50 tries to get through it, or the whatever the amount was.
Right.
And I was just like always nervous, and it felt weird. And I was just like, okay, just let me have fun with it.
Yeah.
And it got a little better and a little better, and now we're here.
Right. And one of the things that we've talked about, like whenever anyone talks about like YouTube and content creation and they talk about growth, they're like, I want to get super big, super fast. It's like,
no, you don't.
They do for the most part. When anyone says that, they're like, they truly want that.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard. It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard. And we've taken multiple breaks, for multiple reasons. But I mean, I think a lot of the people who have big success making content, and I don't know if this is true, but and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think a lot of the people who do very well, either one of two things. They don't have a lot of other responsibilities, or they have other responsibilities and they treat content creation like a full-time job, and they might have another job, but it's not like an actual career. And then they're able to step away from that job once they are able to build up their content creation.
Yeah, it does seem pretty rare that it would be like a career that they've been wanting to do for a while, and this is like exactly what they want to do.
Right.
And then they kind of start doing, well, unless it's just a low-paying job.
Yeah,
and
right.
then kind of start doing this on the side.
Right.
But yeah, it does seem like you kind of have nothing. You don't really got to worry about anything.
Right.
Or you're at this terrible job you just don't care about, and you want to do something to kind of connect with people.
Granted, this is all anecdotal, right?
Yeah.
I'm not
Stuff we've noticed over the years.
Stuff that I've seen and I've noticed.
Yeah.
But purely anecdotal.
Yeah.
And like for me, like I have a career.
Yeah.
Like I've been in my industry for like a decade, and like it pays very well. It provides for my family, and we may or may not have another addition to that family soon. That's all I'm going to say, because we haven't. That's all I'm going to say. All right. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
Getting another dog.
And yes. And I have to provide for my family. Right. Yeah. And again, there's plenty of people who are immensely successful on or making content, but it is hard.
Yeah.
And like I've spent a lot of time and energy, getting my degrees, building up my career. And it's not something that I can give up. And honestly, I mean, I've had a position or a job change within the past few months, hence the whole, change and everything. And I love my job. I love my job now. And like, did I talk to you much about it before? Like how I was not enjoying my last job?
Yes.
And I was like, I got to get out of this.
Once you got that promotion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, this is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were not happy there.
I was not. No. I was not. And like I wanted something different. Well, I got something different, and it's been a big blessing to me and my family. So so we have all of those things, okay, that we're both of us, are trying to juggle with hobbies and happiness. And I kind of thought we'd be in a different place, in all honesty, like at this point for hobbies and happiness. But to be honest, I'm okay with where things are at. And I've just been, because again, like, you and I have our priorities, right? And I mean, where my heart is, where my priorities are, like with my family and all that other stuff, right? And I'm
hobbies and happiness, and then your family.
So I'm happy with where we're at now, because I mean we're in a better position than when we started. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And the stuff that we do, I mean, it takes us a long time to do something, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay. And for those of you listening and watching, if you've been here for a while, thank you. Like, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Turtle Dude.
Thanks, Turtle Dude. Honestly, like Turtle Dude. Man, Turtle Dude, you've made a lot of this.
Yeah.
Like you've made a lot of it memorable. There's been a lot of things that you've made memorable. Dude,
I'll never forget meeting him at Gen Con.
Dude,
I'll never forget it.
That was not. Did we know he was going to be there?
I don't know.
I don't know if we knew he was going to be there. I can't remember. I can't remember.
I mean, I probably did it.
Yeah, but when he said Turtle Dude, I was like, oh man, you're awesome. That's so cool. We met a fan. Like we're fans of you. That's how it felt. So anyway, that was. Well, let me ask you, Jim. Like, how do you feel with where we are? At with hobbies and happiness, especially thinking back to when we first made content in that first podcast episode. That was on my kitchen It's in my kitchen.
Yes.
Kitchen table back at the condo.
The second one was on the couch.
Was it the second one?
Yeah, dude, it was the second.
I don't know if it was. I remember it. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, we've come such a long way.
Yeah.
We've grown, and
it's been a roller coaster. Like,
yeah.
I remember the beginning of this year when we had that interview with Jake Boss, and we were like, dude, this year is going to be sick. And this year has been phenomenal. Like this year, we saw the launch of Lorcana.
Really good year.
It's, there's been a lot that's happened this year, but I don't want to cut you off. I do that too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great year, and just the years because we've been doing this for how long now?
Dude, I don't know.
2.5 years?
More than that.
I forget.
It's been a while.
We're going on 3 years, I
At
think.
least, yeah.
And yeah, it's not exactly where I wanted us to be, but honestly, us being here has taught us a lot, and kind of figuring out what else to be doing in life. And if we weren't at this point, we wouldn't be exactly where we're at in life. And I don't know about you, but aside from H&H stuff, I'm happy where I'm at in life.
Me too.
I'm moving up as well.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I remember where you were when we started.
Yeah. Sure, I had a little bit of a downfall, but we're higher.
Right. But again, like it's been like our personal lives have been a roller coaster. Like everything has been a roller coaster, right? I mean, 100%. Like I love where I'm at in my life, spiritually, professionally, everything. Like,
so honestly, I wouldn't change anything that we've done so far with H&H, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be exactly where we're at. And I'm happy with that. So
we've met a lot of people in many different communities, especially like the Lorcana community, right? Even though we haven't, interacted,
greatest community in the whole world. Dude.
Even though we haven't interacted with them a lot over the past few months,
met some really cool people.
Met some really cool people. And what's funny is, we used to do the Lorcana streams, right?
Yeah.
What's nice to see? Other people do like weekly streams. Like we see the Illumineers do their weekly stream. Jonty now does a weekly stream with B Squared, right? And you have all of the Lorcana podcasts that have started right with Lorcana, right? And like the Lorcana community seems like there have been in pretty good hands, right? And you know what? Let's take this opportunity to kind of segue a little bit into kind of what we see of we're going to be doing in for H&H in the future. So we've talked, and we think we are going to focus more heavily into Lorcana.
And before the comments are like, we know you always talk about Lorcana all the time. You guys are already a Lorcana group.
So, but we're not going to stop playing other games, right? So, and this is
except for Magic.
When is the last time, Jen? Honestly, when's the last time you played Magic?
Dude, that's hard to say.
I know, man.
I don't know.
Is this no? This is not a Magic deck. I don't even know. Oh, my Magic decks are over there. My Commander decks are over there. Because we were talking, and I was like, dude, I just need to get rid of my Magic decks, my Commander decks. I have. I want to, but I also don't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting rid of Muldrotha. I'm not getting rid of Gargos.
Like, I'm not getting rid of any of my decks.
But the thing is, like, if you keep up with, man, I got to continually add like the latest pieces to this deck. It's just not worth it.
I think I'm getting rid of Burn and Tron.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to.
I should just get rid of
Amulet.
Apparently,
it's doing semi-decent right now.
That's what I like to hear. That's absolutely what I like to hear.
Yeah.
So anyway, we talked. Jim and I have talked, and like we think we kind of really want to prioritize more into Lorcana.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I told Jim was there's been for the past few months there's been 3 games that I have been super interested with. The one being Lorcana, and then the other two have been Alpha Clash and Star Wars Unlimited.
Yep.
Okay. Star Wars Unlimited is not out yet. That comes out next year, which I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
And so those two other games we still want to do stuff for. And now with our setup and with I'm just going to call it the streaming package for lack of a better term, all the stuff that we've built, it's going to make making especially gameplay, especially card game gameplay much easier. So that way, when we start recording stuff, this new program, phenomenal, right? I'll tell you, it is so great. As long as I have all the card images, I can get them uploaded to this directory, and then it's essentially AI running. I don't want to say AI is running the program, but it's using AI voice recognition, voice recognition AI, and then it's essentially looking at this directory. And then if it sees we say a card, it's going to show it on screen. Because ever since we started doing any kind of content, right, for card games, that has been my biggest, I don't want to say pet peeve, because it's starting to become more standard now, right, of showing these cards on screen. If you're watching card game gameplay and no one has the cards on screen, you're just seeing the overhead cam. What's your thought when you watch a game like that?
Man, if you don't know what these cards are, it's kind of frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah. And if you do know what it is, I mean,
it's
less frustrating,
right.
but still it's annoying because sometimes you still want to see the card.
You want to see the card.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just better to be visually seeing the card than to not be seeing the card.
Right. And then the other thing is post-production.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing post-production, but oh my gosh, it takes so much time. Am I right, Jim?
Yeah.
And anyone who creates content knows. It can take a lot of time. I mean, I kid you not, there were days where we wanted to maintain a schedule. I was up till 2:00 the night before editing. And even that video, I was editing a couple days prior to it because I'm a madman and I have standards. And that's not to say other people don't have standards, but that's to say I'm crazy and I'm very anal when it comes to my attention to detail. It's crazy. Like I want things to look a certain way, and I had fun with it. I do have fun with it, but it takes so much time that I don't really have. And I will tell you, I enjoy spending that time with my family and my kids. So yeah. And that's part of the reason I've built all of this, is to minimize a lot of that time spent.
Yeah.
Right. Because I still want to make content. I still want to make good quality content. Like those set reviews, I want to do those again. I want to get back to doing that, but have it where we can record here, right? We can sit here, have it look the way we want on screen, right? And then just, oh, hey, we throw the card up. All right. I have all this set up here. Let's throw the card up just like a live production. Because again, there are TV stations, people do that. Like it's all live. You can do all this stuff live. We have all that capability. It's just figuring it out and putting it into place. It's amazing to me how actually easy doing that stuff is. I mean, OBS is free, right?
Yes.
OBS is free. I mean, how much do you know about OBS? Because I mean, when you started doing this,
used it.
Yeah, like when you started doing this, you were using OBS, right?
Yeah. I guess I just know like a basic amount of it. I haven't looked too heavily into.
Do you know who Nutty is?
I don't think so.
You know who Harris Heller is?
Yes.
Okay. So Nutty is he's another streamer, but like if you guys are at all interested in live streaming, especially using OBS and plugins, go find Nutty, go follow him, watch his streams. He has some amazing streams, and he's got a ton of YouTube videos about utilizing OBS plugins and whatnot. He's a phenomenal resource. So I'm always
saying he's a nut about it.
I mean, he is. Like so one of the things that he does, right?
Yeah.
Is so he has his camera and then he has screens. in his background, right? Well, he took pictures of what's behind his screens. And so like he'll put that picture on the screen so it looks like the screen's not even there. Like he does some amazing stuff with his setup. It's super crazy. So if you're at all into content creation, live streaming, that kind of stuff, go look up Nutty. He's got some amazing resources on his channel. But anyway, and guys, this is taking a long time. I know it's taking a long time. And now we just had Thanksgiving. We're coming up on Christmas. It's the holiday season.
More importantly, Dan got a haircut.
Oh yeah, guys, I got a haircut. Have I been on camera since I got the haircut? I don't think so.
Just pull it up.
Yeah, I got a haircut. Dude, I was growing that out for
a while.
Like a year and a half? At least a year and a half. Yeah. It might have even been 2 years.
I don't know.
Like just not gotten a haircut.
Yeah.
It was a long time, guys.
And he got frustrated with it.
So what happened?
He said he hated it.
What happened was I was on a roof and well, that's my job. That's part of my job now. And there was just so much wind, and I didn't have a hat on, so my hair's blowing everywhere, and I'm like, get out, I was like, he's not getting back, so I'm like, I got to get rid of it. This is annoying, absolutely insane.
I need to keep a rubber band on you to tie that back.
Yeah, I didn't have one. I didn't have one.
That's all right.
And that always looked weird too when I would pull my hair back. It was just weird. So I just cut it. I cut it all off. Cut it off. So anyway, that's a story, and I'm sticking to it. So set reviews. We want to be doing set reviews again, and I think we'll be able to knock those out relatively quicker. Right, because again, with not having to do a lot of that post production, that's gonna knock off a lot of time.
Yeah,
I mean, it was taking us what, an hour and a half, ish, to do like a color, in any game.
Yeah, depending on what it was.
Because we had. Whether, if you believe it or not, guys, we did do set reviews for Lorcana set 1. Never published them.
Didn't we do 4? I think we got to 4 colors.
I don't even think we did all the colors.
Got to 4 colors.
We didn't get all the colors.
I was like, man, that was so much, dude.
It was.
So much.
But again, like, we recorded it, and that's like, okay, now I got to go freaking edit it.
Yeah.
And
each one was like hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it was like there was really no way we were getting 2 of those in a night along with something else. So if it was like podcast, do a set review, do another set review, like that wasn't happening.
Right. And that's the thing. It's the podcast.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like the podcast took so much time that we didn't have time to do anything else.
Yeah. After like everything, it would have been about like 2 hours by the time we start the set review.
Right.
When we started everything.
Right. Because I mean, I remember doing that because when we did it for Alpha Clash, it's like, all right, we're going to meet up, we're going to do the podcast, we're going to get a color in, depending on time, we'll see if we can get another one in, and then it's like, okay, well, we can't do any more. Let's meet up the next day, and then oh wait, I'm not going to be here the following week. We need to get another podcast episode in. It's like it would just take up so much time.
Yeah, there were some around that time because we were doing Alpha Clash. Podcast. I think we were doing something else as well, and it was like I think for a couple weeks straight, I was being here like 4 times a week, and it was just like so much stuff, and it was at a point where I'm just like, I'm just so tired. I don't want to do nothing. Getting 0 sleep, passing out at work. Falling asleep in the car ride home. I'm driving. Not a good thing.
No, not a good thing. Not a good thing.
But yeah, it was a lot, man. We were so busy. And again, we were putting so much priority on the podcast when there were other things that we really wanted to do and how we saw the channel or how we want the channel to be with these other card games. But it was just the podcast was holding us back.
Yeah. And so when it comes to doing gameplay, what our thoughts are is essentially just doing gameplay videos and doing kind of what we do best is play the game, give our thoughts on the matchups, on the cards.
Yeah.
And again, I think, as a card game player, right, anytime I watch content, it's more like edutainment, right? Because it's thoughts on strategy, the matchups, and helping other people become a better card game player, better Lorcana player, whatever game we're talking about, right? It's more edutainment than entertainment. It's a mix of both education and entertainment. Because I think when it comes to these types of games, I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. Because I mean, again, you look at a channel like Command Zone. That's like their podcast. Educational. 100%. I think it's 100% educational. Right. They do their commercials. That's all entertainment. Game nights. That's all entertainment. Extra turns. That's all entertainment. Right. There's a little bit of education in there, right? Because they're talking about the sequence of plays and whatnot. But it's more geared toward entertainment, right? Which is a lot of higher produced quality Magic content, and I think Command Zone is probably the ones that kind of like the tip. They're at the tip of that, and then you got Professors. Again, I think the Professor is that's edutainment. I would classify the Professor as edutainment.
I think so much of his like newer content is just phenomenal, with him grouping up with people playing games as well, in comparison to the older stuff that he had. Like, this stuff is just. It's money, right? Like, to me, it's just genius, that he's doing it, and he's doing a great job,
right, 100%. So that's kind of our thought as far as like what we're going to be doing, right? So you'll look to see more just gameplay oriented content, gameplay oriented videos, where I'm not going to be sitting down and doing a lot of editing on the back end.
Yeah, he's just going to be mad at the table.
Hey, man. So an interesting thing. So let's talk about Lorcana for a second, right? When we started seeing all the cards for Rise of the Floodborn, right? The moment I see Popsicle, and then I see Popsicle, then I see Flaversham, I'm like, Ariel's gonna be a deck. I can do an Ariel deck, and then everyone keeps talking about the Popsicle, and like it's the Popsicle meta, right? Which the only reason people are talking about that is because of Pixelborn, and I'm genuinely curious how much longer Disney is gonna let Pixelborn be a thing for. What do you think? What do you think? Well, are you surprised that it's still around?
Kind of, but I'm also I remember hearing that like the person who's kind of behind it is a lawyer and who like kind of knew how to work around things. And he's like, hey, we don't have any of the photos or anything on here. You got to go to this website and download all of that to get the pictures of it. But everything else is the same except for the photos. Gameplay,
well, we met him. He was at Gen Con, right?
Who was it?
He had this shirt. I can't remember what his name was. I think it's Pavel, I believe. Nice guy. Really nice guy. Who did it?
But I mean, again, that was all rumor. I don't know if that was true.
I remember hearing that as well. And I believe that is true.
Okay.
I believe that is true because when you download it, they don't provide any of the assets. You have to provide the assets
you
yourself.
just know how to get around that kind of.
But I don't think Ravensburger and Disney care. I think it's more Disney.
Yeah.
I think Disney would be the one to
care. And if anything, they could
Ravensburger.
just like keep bringing it to court. And it's like, hey, at what point is it worth it to you? I don't know.
Yeah, right. But I also think that Ravensburger and Disney I think they see the success that it's having in all the people making content, which if you ask me, if you're making content with Pixelborn, you're I mean, you do what you. Yeah, that's it right there.
You ballsy.
That's it right there. I'm not touching that.
You're about to get blacklisted
I'm not
by
touching
Disney.
that with a 10-foot pole.
You're gonna try and go into.
No, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot
You're
pole.
gonna try and go into Disney World and you're gonna be like, sir, you're not allowed in here.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it looks like you got a black X on your name. I don't know what's going on. You've been blacklisted.
I am not touching that at all.
Have you used, is your name Loves to Smooch on Pixelborn?
Have you downloaded it?
No, I haven't.
Me neither. I haven't touched it either. I've been tempted to, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna touch it. Right. Yeah. And again, I don't. If you do, I don't think you're wrong. It's just it's not something I wanna.
Man, we could just make a tournament with using remote duel setup. You know, just like boom, put your camera down on your stuff, play your cards, go against your opponent.
But again, like it's also kind of like it's a resume builder too, because like Ravensburger, because again, Ravensburger not a digital company at all, right? They'll say, "Hey, let's hire this guy, and then let's start a digital side of the company building this platform because, dude, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
It has to.
It's gonna happen.
If they don't, they lose so much money.
Oh, that's the thing is oh man.
And start putting in codes into every pack so you can now, redeem on the account. And they'll be like, boom, boom. Except no one's going to have sealed product because they can't get any, With all the flippers and scams.
But they don't got to worry about it. Is that you just pay Ravensburger money.
Don't got to worry about it.
Get those digital packs. Yep. Oh, man. But I again, and we've talked about this ad nauseum before, but I wonder how much resources and infrastructure it takes to get those systems in place.
And you know what else that you could do that MTGO does?
What's that?
If you have every single card of the standard set on MTGO, you can actually redeem it with like $25 extra to get play sets of all the cards in physical condition, but it gets rid of it on your digital side.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's super sick.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I want to say it's of just the newest. It's always the latest standard set.
Interesting.
But yeah, you're able to do that. Yeah, super cool.
Interesting. Well, it's interesting because I mean, again, when we were at Gen Con talking to Steve and Ryan, it's like nobody could have thought that
Disney,
which. I remember talking to Steve, and he was like, they never would have thought that it was going to be this popular.
Like, how?
Again, hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. I understand that. But
we all knew.
What did you think when he said that? What did you think?
I honestly didn't believe him. I'm like, how? I'm pretty sure I was there. It was when we were sitting with a bunch of the other people at the tables where the tournaments were being set up.
No, I'm talking about when we talked to him when Todd showed up.
Oh, and Todd showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking with Steve because we were talking about that at the tables. Ryan Miller, that was Todd. No, that was when Todd showed up. No, that was when we were talking to Steve because remember Todd showed up. Steve said that, and then we went and had our little interview. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Huh. But again, we had that conversation multiple times. That came up. That came up multiple times.
Okay.
It came up multiple times.
I honestly just couldn't understand how you couldn't think that this was going to be a big hit. Mm-hmm. Like you have the collectability, you have the IP that's been around forever and a half. For literally a lifetime of a lot of people. And then some.
Well, again, but I mean, we've also seen so many IP card games come and fail too.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars has tried and failed multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, but again, anytime Star Wars ever came up, it was still always popular.
Yeah.
Like Destiny was popular. And the reason Destiny failed was not because Star Wars wasn't popular.
Yeah.
It was because they wanted to do dice. Yeah. And that was a whole manufacturing. Yeah, that was other stuff, right? Yeah. It's a whole manufacturing issue.
And honestly, when you're able to make things less competitive and more casual, it tends to be pretty dang popular
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
But now people are wanting it more competitive. Which, you know what? Can we get the competitive rule set, please, guys? Please.
So in the world of MMOs, right? Before World of Warcraft came out, there were a lot of MMOs that were hardcore, very competitive things, and it was just difficult to like pretty much be there and compete with stuff. And then WoW came out and it was very less competitive, I guess you would say. It was easier. You didn't really have to worry about the death penalty in terms of the other games. It was more casual, and it became the #1 MMO in the entire world. Right at a point, there were like 12 million people playing it all at once.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it was just like the #1 game, and then they tried to make it more competitive and harder. And eventually it just got to a point where it's at now where it's like no one really plays the game at all. So it's like you kind of destroy these communities in the games by making it more competitive, which is so weird.
Well, again, we talked about, I think the last episode that went live was our discussion about competitive and casual.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. And again, when you make something more competitive, you know, the more competitive people generally tend to push out the less competitive people, i.e. the more casual people.
Which makes sense as to why Pokemon got so big, because no one knew how to play it. That makes sense. And no one knew how to play it.
Yeah, that's true.
So it didn't matter.
Very true. Very true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So, yeah, we're here. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're hoping to do more of is streaming. But again, with the whole schedule thing is going to be something that we got to work through. We got to figure it out and we got to work through.
Yeah.
But again, the streams most likely are going to be more the gameplay streams. One thing that we want to talk about, Jim and I haven't talked about this yet, but I want to bring it back up, is again doing the Lorcana streams. Maybe not, and I've also even brought up doing Star Wars content creator streams as well. That hasn't got off the ground yet because, again, I think when I started talking about that, like the whole job thing kind of came up, and just a weird bad time. So that's one thing that I want to discuss and kind of figure out if we can get back to doing that, because those are fun. Those were fun. But now with there being so many people doing Lorcana stuff, it's like the logistics is going to be difficult. Like what I might just have to do is, we have our 10 people or 15 or however large the group is, because at some point, you have to cut things off. You know what I mean? Like if today there's 10, tomorrow there's 20, then it just doubles. Like that gets way too big.
I mean, it doesn't matter how many there are if we're just the best one. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. Just come to us.
Yeah. Just we just got to walk over everyone to be at the top.
But that's the other thing too is, you can only do so many things. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that we are learning the hard way, where I feel like we've tried to do too many things.
Yeah.
And it's
spreading ourselves thin.
Yes, you spread yourself too thin. It's bitten us.
I was actually talking to my dad about that today, because I told him we were grouping up and just figuring out what it is we're doing with the channel, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we've just been doing a bunch of stuff and it was spreading us too thin. He's like, yeah, but I thought it was good to have a variety of stuff. I'm like, kinda. Yeah. Like, yeah, it is, but for YouTube, not really.
Yeah, YouTube. YouTube is
we're not Mr. Beast.
YouTube is a strange animal.
Yeah.
Right. YouTube tends to, I guess, prioritize niching down. niching down, niche, however you say it.
Nietzsche?
Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche. Oh goodness, what? Not relativism. I can't remember. I can't remember. I just know that's what his name is.
Yeah.
So
he had the big mustache, right?
They all had big mustaches back in the day.
True.
You got Einstein. You got they all had them. They all had the big burly ones. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out as we go. Yeah. But I'm excited to dive back in. Alpha Clash. All right. When is this podcast gonna go live? Is the question.
What's today?
So we're recording this on a Thursday.
6 days.
I will most likely I'm most likely just gonna post this on the weekend. I'll most likely just get it out there just to let y'all know what's up, what's been going on. And but Alpha Clash Set 2 is coming, and we got a lot of product coming in. So we are definitely gonna do a live stream. We're definitely gonna do a live stream of cracking boxes, cracking packs, because we don't even. I was talking to Ridge today or yesterday. I don't remember when. We still don't technically have the full set released.
Oh man!
Like they haven't posted all of the card lists, and I've been watching other people break boxes, and I'm like, I haven't seen that card. I haven't seen that card. I haven't seen that card. There's some good cards, and dude, the cards look super sick. So I can't wait to get our product in. So once we get product in, we'll start cracking boxes. So we'll do some live streams, and then we will also do some gameplay of the Clash kits. All right, so we'll do Clash gameplay. And then when it comes to gameplay, for those of y'all listening to the podcast, genuinely curious what you think. All right. So for those of you who are here because you enjoy and love the card game gameplay, my thought is we'll do a matchup. Okay, for any matchup. Instead of just doing one game, because one game, you don't get enough information. You never get enough information out of one game. Yeah. You're going to do a best of 3. So we'll do a best of 3 matchup, okay? And then once that best of 3 matchup is done, we'll talk about the matchup. And again, we'll have our back and forth. It's a heads up game, right? But the way that I view it is we'll discuss our plays, talk about our plays. Yeah, we'll still keep our information in hand hidden, but kind of go through, hey, I'm going to do this. Here's my thought process, and then kind of go through it. And then hopefully those games would still be around an hour or so. Because again, if you think about a tournament, that's your time. Like you have time limit of about an hour, right? Unless we get some control mirrors, my thought is we can still time it and kind of approach it from that standpoint.
Put on an hour timer. It's like tournaments. Boom, hour timer.
Exactly.
Even though we don't have that information. Is it an hour? 15 minutes? We don't know yet.
But again, that's something I could put that in like through OBS or something.
Yeah, I was meaning like actual tournaments for Lorcana.
Oh, for Lorcana, because they're waiting forever.
Yeah, like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh's 50 minutes, Magic is an hour long for their stuff. So.
Yeah, and then we're gonna know what Alpha Clash is. Alpha Clash just released a bunch of organized play announcements the other day. Guys, man, dude, Alpha Clash is a game you definitely still want to keep an eye on. Cool. I enjoy that. I can't wait to get product in. So
play some War. War.
Dude, Pestilence, man. I'll tell you what though, Haven. There's gonna be some sick Haven builds. There was so the whole collection counters thing. There's so many cards now that there's a Clash Ground. I believe it's called Haven's Pocket Dimension. When that card leaves play, you can put collection counters on the card, and then when it leaves play, you can put those collection counters on something else. Oh my goodness! It's just there's a lot of sick stuff that's coming in Alpha Clash. Wow. And guys, you don't understand. We have a lot of products. And I didn't even talk about this before, but we do have a discount code if you want to pick up any Alpha Clash product, okay? So the code is HNH, okay? Support our friends over at the Realm Games, okay?
Yes.
What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to put that code in the description as well as the link to the Realm Games. I believe it's the realmgamingnetwork.com if I remember correctly. Again, check the links in the descriptions. I will post it all there. Okay, but they are giving our listeners and our community this code for 10% off your entire order of anything Alpha Clash. This code is good through the end of December. So through the end of the year, you get 10%. You get 10% off anything Alpha Clash. So if you want to pick up Awakening singles or Awakening boxes or Clash Ground, anything from the new set, use the code HNH, get 10% off of your order. When we do live stream, I will definitely be talking about that again as well. But again, 10% off your order. Head over to the realmgamingnetwork.com. Use the code HNH at checkout to get 10% off of your order. So thanks a lot to the guys over at The Realm for hooking you all up. So, all right, we've got a lot of product coming, and we're going to be opening we're going to be opening a lot of boxes. I haven't opened boxes in a while, man.
A lot.
Yeah, like
when's the last time you opened boxes? Boxes stuff.
Well, it's been a while, dude.
Was the last stuff the Alpha Clash when you opened up like 5 boxes?
Probably, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Which I've got the this is when I pulled Alpha Aster right here.
Alpha what?
Alpha Aster, Giver of All.
I don't think that's his name.
That's the name, Jim.
What tier is he?
He is S tier, I believe. I believe that's what he is, Jim. He's an S tier card. Okay, when he ETBs, you destroy stuff, right? You destroy everything. So he's S tier.
Sure.
But again, that whole unrivaled mechanic, it throws off my rating. It throws off the ratings like hardcore. But that new clarity.
Very cool.
That new clarity and that war. Oh man, dude, those are.
Oh my goodness, dude. The 5-drop war that you can search for with Grant Park.
Oh my goodness. That's super sick. All right, is there what else? Did we talk about everything, Jim? Did we talk about everything?
I don't know.
I think we did.
We talked about you being pregnant.
You stop saying that.
No. We talked about your job. We talked about my life. Talked about your life.
Yep.
We talked about the future of this channel.
Yep.
And honestly, that seems like everything.
I think so.
Yeah.
As disappointed as I am to be putting the podcast on hold, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel that too? Is that kind of where you're at?
It honestly, yeah. I mean, as much as I like it, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but I'm also like, it feels like such a weight off our shoulders too, to me.
Yeah.
Like we haven't done it in this last month. We haven't done the podcast in the last month.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we were just so, we were going so crazy about it to be like, we got to get this done. We got to make sure you're here no later than the Monday. Like, I understand that you're tired on the Saturday, Friday, whatever it was. And it's just like, man, it is kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Because again, like it was always, okay, we got to get the podcast done. We got to get the podcast done. We got to get the podcast done. We got to get the podcast done.
There was one day I hit up Dan and I'm like, hey, what time you want me to be there? It was like 8:00 or something like that. I'm like, you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm ready when you are. I'm like, I'm like laying in bed. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get up. And then I don't know.
We're still going to have to do that though.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if you like hit me up or I hit you up. I'm like, can we postpone this? Or you were like, we can postpone this if you need to. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just passed out again.
Yeah.
I was out for like 14 hours
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I was just done with the day. So, yeah, it's kind of nice to just not have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then we basically just get to focus on card games, like playing
games
the
on motorcycles. Yeah.
card games on motorcycles.
Anyone know what that is? Anyone?
What is that?
You don't know what that is? Do
No.
you? All right, cool.
Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh thing?
Yeah, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds when they had like speed duels and they were on motorcycles. So a lot of people in the abridged, Yu-Gi-Oh has an abridged thing, and they say card games on motorcycles. So it's just like this big meme in the community.
Nice.
So
Nice.
to this day,
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's all the announcements that we got for you guys today. We're gonna end it with not doing a card of the week because this has been super casual, super laid back, and kind of just been opening up to y'all,
man,
letting
I
y'all
kind of
know.
want to do a card of the week. Though.
Do you have a card of the week?
Dude, I can find a card real quick, man.
Yeah. Oh, look at that genie.
Oh, here we go. Oh, what about him? Let's talk about him.
All right,
talk about him.
again, we're doing this live.
We're
All right,
doing it live.
I guess we are doing.
I'm like, come on, dude. It's the last podcast we're ever doing ever again. Card of the week.
Not officially.
Not
officially. All right, this week's card of the week.
Yes.
Okay, again, was not planning on
Just
doing
picked
this.
it out.
Jim just decided to pick it up because I have a giant stack of Lorcana cards. Show him that stack, dude. Show him that stack. That's the stack of singles that have come thus far. There's more to come.
We're going ham.
Which, speaking of, I wanted to do this because I didn't know where the price was at. I want to check a price very quickly because we were talking about. Remember that card we were talking about yesterday?
Dude, we talked about.
I know we did. We did talk about a lot of cards yesterday.
Elsa?
Not that one, but Alice.
Oh yeah,
The Alice.
15 duckies.
So yesterday Alice was at what, 20? I believe she was at 20.
She dropped a little bit. I could be wrong though.
I believe as of yesterday when we looked, I believe she was at around $20. Okay. It's Alice Growing Girl. Let's see what her price is today. Its market is still around $20. Okay. Dude, her pre-sale was like 70.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Alice is great. It's such a good card.
It's not $70 good.
No, but I'm probably I need to pick up some Alice's.
Yeah.
I want to get some boxes, but
now we say buy singles, don't buy pre-sale singles.
don't buy pre-sale singles, guys, unless it's like super cheap.
Well, I mean, you never know.
Well, right, because I've bought some that were being undervalued.
Yeah.
And I got a really good deal on it, but that's not typical. Typically, they're priced super
Always
high. They're typically priced
Can you
super
imagine
high.
pre-sale Flaversham for like 50 cents?
Was it that?
I don't know. I was just
Dude, okay, but
kind of lying.
Again, I bought it at
$1.50?
$1.50.
Yeah.
I bought Flaversham at $1.50.
Yeah.
Here's the price curve for it. It was like and back down. So it was down. It was at like 80 cents. And then the spike was $8. And now it's down to about $3.20.
Okay, that's not bad.
But again, I bought it at like $1.50.
Yeah.
So I got a good deal on it.
Yes.
So anyway, the card that we're going to talk about
Such a good card.
is such a good card. The card is it's a Lorcana card from set number 2, chapter 2, Rise of the Floodborn. It is Grand Pobby, oldest and wisest. Grand Pobby is an uninkable 7-cost 3/6/3. That is 3 strength, 6 willpower, 3 lore. So some good stats, some decent stats for a 7-drop. Obviously, the uninkable is a drawback, but I don't really care with this card. It's a super rare.
Worth it.
With the ability Ancient Insight. Whenever you remove 1 or more damage from one of your characters, gain 2 lore. Jim, why is this a good card?
Oh my goodness, Dan. Because not only are you getting the value of healing your stuff, which seems to be pretty strong in this game. Aside from that, you're now bringing yourself closer to ending the game. And he quests for 3 on top of it, man.
Yeah.
Dude, this is going to end the game quick. I don't care that he's 7 uninkable.
I mean, this gives healing decks the top end that they need.
Oh my goodness.
Like so the first card that I immediately thought of when I saw this was Prince Jasmine, Queen of Agrabah.
Oh, yes.
I know she's in there, but and
Yes,
she's a Floodborn as well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
whenever she's played, and I believe it's played and quests, you can remove up to 2 damage from each of your characters.
Oh, okay.
Each of your characters.
I mean, this is also
The biggest the biggest card that most people I think that most people think about when they think about healing. They think about healing in Lorcana is Rapunzel.
Yeah.
Rapunzel gifted with healing.
Yeah.
Which, Jim, why is that card $50? $50 freaking dollars.
If you're playing Amber, you're playing this card, right?
That's pretty much
it's
it.
It's a 4 cost.
Have you ever seen any Amber deck that's not running Rapunzel?
Aside budgetless, no.
Yeah,
competitive, no.
No,
Like it's not a
crazy.
thing. Like you're playing her. Because it's a 4 cost. Oh, well, what's the stats on it? What do I want to say? Like 1-4-1.
I think it's more like a 1-5-1, but it's something like that. It's something like that.
Regardless, decent. I mean, actually, terrible stat line. Honestly, quest for 1, but it's ETB. You can heal up to 3 damage from up to 3 different targets, and then for every life that you gain,
say that again.
You can heal up to 3 target divided amongst up to 3 targets. I believe.
No.
3 health.
No. Remove up to 3 damage from one of your characters.
Oh, it's just 1?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's draw a card
worse.
for each 1 damage removed.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought it was you could separate it.
No.
Okay.
No.
Way worse card.
No. And she's a 1/5/2.
So heal something for 3 damage.
This one is for $44. Oh wow, they're
dropping?
They're dropping.
Yes, dude.
They're dropping.
Yes. Saw it here live. And so
it says market's 50, but they're listed as low as $44.
So phenomenal card. Heal 3, draw up to 3, depending on like how much you get rid of. Right. Even if you draw 2 cards.
But but that's why you were running it, is because Amber didn't have a lot of card draw.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of card
draw. Play that
draw.
with the Mother Gothel that deals 3 to herself.
Dude, that card is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So but aside from
Jim,
that,
I'm looking forward to diving more into
it's
Lorcana. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. Like again, Alpha Clash is fun. Is gonna be fun too. Yeah. But like, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited to just be able to spend more time doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Grand Hobbies just gonna get you close to the end of the game.
Anyway, Grand Hobby is just it gives you that super top end, right?
Yep.
So again, Prince Jasmine, right? She's a 5-drop. So she's a 5-drop with shift 3. Okay. Yes. With shift 3. So she's a 2/5/2. And again, when you play and quest. So if you play her on top of Jasmine who's been out the prior turn.
Yeah.
You can remove up to 4 damage from each of your characters if you play her and then quest her in the same turn.
Dude, are you saying that you could just instantly win the game?
You could you could so instant win. I mean, you could OTK.
Yeah.
You could OTK with the Grand Hobby.
This seems like a decently easy OTK to do.
You just have to.
It's not smart, but it's doable.
No, it's again. You need a lot of pieces to make it work.
Yeah.
You need a lot of pieces, and you need a lot of stuff on board.
Yeah.
You need a lot of stuff on board. And again, he costs 7. You're not getting him out before. You're not getting him out early unless you're ramping.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could play some ramp.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is you there has to be a lot of things on board.
Yeah.
Before then.
Yeah, in order to set it up like that, if you just want to like win on turn 7,
right?
Essentially, yeah, it'd be a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And again, you think of it. The thing is, the most I think the most healing you see is going to be an amber, not sapphire. Sapphire does have, I mean, again, you've got gumbo pot from set 2.
Yeah.
You've got the coconuts. There is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Popsicle. Oh, dude, Popsicle.
Dude, there's some really good cards.
There is.
The Jasmine.
There is. But I think healing is more of a color pie thing for amber than it is for sapphire. But I think actually now in set 2, you're seeing if you say heal, it's not just amber, it's amber and sapphire.
Yeah.
It's not steel, it's not any of the other colors. It's amber and sapphire. It's not just amber. I think you have to say it's amber and sapphire.
Yeah, amber and sapphire, 100%.
Amber and sapphire. So and then you have the damage.
Because this Jasmine, she's from the first set, and why do I want to say, aside from coconuts as well, are those the only 2 blue cards that heal in first set?
From the first set? No, the flower. Got the flower.
Oh, yeah, the flower.
The flower, which is a good card.
Which heals for 3,
For 3, yeah. And that's a 1-drop.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to make that a aerial deck. Hopefully I can make that aerial deck be good. We'll see.
Man, that seems difficult.
We'll see. We'll see. But I have a deck built. I have a deck built that I'm excited for. And I think the only piece I need is Alice. Alice is going to be the only piece.
Isn't there also an item that where you can give her ward now?
An item? I
believe so.
I don't think so. I don't think it's an item
that gives resist. I'm fairly certain there's one that gives ward now.
We'll look.
Yeah.
We'll look. But anyway, the card of the week is Grandpappy.
Grandpappy.
Yes,
dude.
So the Grandpappy is going to be his own deck because he definitely doesn't fit into the aerial strategy. There's a lot of decks that we want to build. There's a lot of decks that we've seen built that we're going to get to the table and hopefully get some matchups going. And then it's going to be fun.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then once we have a idea of how often we can get these things recorded, I think post isn't going to take long. Post really is not going to take me very long to do. But yeah. So card of the week, Grandpappy, oldest and wisest. That's what we got for you guys this week. And that's the last-ish card of the week you're going to see from us for a while. So anyway. What are you thinking there, Jim? What are you
it's called Sardine Can, but it's not exactly what I thought. Your exerted characters gain ward.
That's what it is, yeah.
That's it.
That's what it was, yeah.
Not the same.
You were close, though. You were close.
There is an item
that gives you ward, that gives your thing ward, yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
Man, it's sad, but it's also
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited more than I am sad right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get started, for lack of a better term, for lack of a better word. But I'm really excited to really just dive deeper into Lorcana.
Yeah.
And honestly, sit down and play Alpha Clash. Oh, and open up. Dude, I'm excited for Clash Grounds. I'm super stoked for Clash Grounds. It's going to be fun. But the thing that I'm really most excited for is just sit down and play some games.
Yes.
Sit down and play some games.
It's such a long time.
It's been a long time because we've been focused on we got to do the podcast.
Was the last one we did Lorcana with the Glitter Gang?
The last what?
The last time we played games on the channel.
No, I never even posted that. Because that was I was never able to post it.
Okay.
I was done. I have Teddy. I still have that. I still have that content. I have those videos. I think. I'm pretty sure they're on a hard drive.
All right.
Here.
Well, don't post it. Don't.
There's a lot of stuff that we recorded that I never posted.
Yeah. No.
Because again, it takes so much time to edit. To do post-production. We don't have an editor. I don't want to pay somebody to do it because I'm not going to have somebody do it for free because I know I can't have someone do that for free because you need to pay somebody to do that. So, but anyway. All right, I'm excited. And the last thing, everyone, thank you for those of you who have listened faithfully to the podcast. Thank you, each and every one of you. Or even if you just listened to a couple episodes, thank you. We greatly appreciate it. Really couldn't be here without y'all listening. So thank you, each and every one of you. And if you have listened, come watch, come join us on the channel, watch us play some games, join some live streams, and hang out with us. I'm excited to where things are going to go in 2024 and beyond. We've come a long way in just a few years, and excited to see where we're gonna go in the next few years. Excited where Lorcana is gonna go. Excited to dive into that. Really excited for Alpha Clash and Star Wars Unlimited as well. So with that being said, Jim, where can people find you on the internet?
Man, you guys can find me all over the place. Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, which I actually...
No, you didn't.
The other day...
No, you didn't.
Okay,
no, you
check
didn't.
this out. So the other day, right, I was like just sitting in my room. I'm like, why am I not streaming? Why am I not streaming?
You streamed?
I didn't, but... But I was extremely close, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start finding time to do this. And I want to live stream.
I was also thinking about streaming DC Dual Force, like for myself, like on the channel, right? Yeah. But I've wanted to just make DC Dual Force like kind of my thing on the channel. So I'm thinking about like trying to incorporate that kind of on a regular basis somehow. So I've been having fun with this one deck. It's a Zatanna Lex Luthor build. It's a spell control list. Ooh. Dude, it's fun. Like so with the way spells work, so spells are essentially tokens. There's like I believe there's 13 different cards. Yeah. 13, I can't remember how many. It's like 13 or 15 that are randomly generated, right? You don't know what you're going to get, right? But they all do something. You've got your free cards. You have bronze, silver, and no gold, just bronze and silver. But you don't know what these cards are going to do, right? So it's a control list with top ends of like Giovanni, which at the end of the turn he'll deal damage to your opposing leaders based on how many spells you've played. Ooh. And like when I've drawn him, it's been the end of the game, and it's like 14 damage. Like that's game.
Wait, it counts for the entire game?
The entire game.
Holy, I thought it would have been like, play a bunch of spells on your one turn and then like, boop.
There's one card, a new card, Morgan Le Fay, where she's a gold card, but whenever you play a spell, enemy leaders get -2 defense, your leaders get +2 defense. Dude, holy she is sick in the deck. I'm having a blast with this deck. It's a lot of fun, and it's performing pretty well. Yeah. So I've been having a blast with that deck. So I've been thinking about streaming DC Dual Force from time to time. But again, like have to figure out. Again, we can only do so many things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that might just be maybe I just do it on my own type of thing. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. But anyway, guys, you can follow us on if you head over to our website, hobbiesandhappiness.com. You can find links to all of our stuff there. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter. I'm sorry, I'm not Jim. Twitter, Instagram at Daniel.G.
Your things are different, though.
My things are different. It's
Daniel.G.com and then
Twitter.
_DG
Instagram.
Campbell.
It's Instagram, Daniel.G.Campbell, Twitter _DG Campbell. That's what it is.
I knew it. Yeah. I was close.
You're right. As you can tell, it's been a while. But you can find me there. Again, come on over to YouTube. That's where we're going to be the most. Thanks, everybody. This has been a lot of fun over the past couple of years doing this podcast. Jim, this has been a blast. Yeah. We're not going anywhere. We're still going to be sitting at this table, making some card game content, playing some card games, having a lot of fun.
Getting Dan mad.
I'm not going to get mad anymore. All right. That's a lie.
That's Dan's New Year's resolution. I don't get mad at games no more.
I don't get... No. Hang on. I don't get mad at Jim with games. What was I playing? What were we playing? Dude. Okay. All right. Last thing here. All right.
Last night. We don't even want to leave.
Dungeon Mayhem.
Yeah.
Dungeon Mayhem. Okay. Oh, man, when I play that game with Michael. So here's the thing. Okay. My mother-in-law loves that game now. Yeah. Right. Which it's an amazing game. It's so much fun.
It's always my number one.
The problem with Dungeon Mayhem. Okay, is when my mother-in-law plays, okay, when my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law play, okay, who does she go after? She never. She leaves her baby alone.
Dang.
She does not. She helps.
Yeah.
Her son, my brother-in-law.
She's got a favorite.
She's got her favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. And we all know, Sean, we all know. We all know the favorite. Everybody does. And my father-in-law does the same thing. And actually, no, I'm sorry. He knows if he comes after somebody, it's either me or my brother-in-law. Because we're the targets because we're the smart ones. Okay. All right. We're the engineers. We're the smart ones. Okay. It's a toss-up who he's going to go after.
I'm just glad he won't go after me. I'm not an engineer.
It's a toss-up who he's going to go after.
Who plays games all the time.
It's a toss-up. But my mother-in-law, no. She protects her baby, protects the baby. It always comes after me, even if I am not a threat.
Yeah.
And my goodness, do I let that get to me? Jim's like, you don't say, Dan.
I'd love to play in these games. I'll be like, yeah, let's start the game. This seems like a good idea.
I think there was one time where I'm like, we need to utilize the rule where you can only target the person to your left or your right. Because that's the thing we did. And so it's me, and then my mother-in-law was sitting next to me, and then my brother-in-law was on the other side of her. So she could only pick one person to go after. Who did she pick? Every single time it was me.
Always you.
Every single time it was me.
Yeah.
And that gets old real fast.
Yeah.
That gets old real fast. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. This has been fun. This has been a blast. But again, we're not going anywhere. If you want to stay up on the hobbies and happiness, what we're going to do, come join us over on YouTube. So again, thanks everybody for being here. We'll catch you sometime. Thanks everybody. We'll see you later.
Take care.
All right. I said take care as well, but I'm going to let Jim have the final word. So here, we're going to do that one more time. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you later.
Take care.